Okay, so tonight we're gonna make salmon and a grain, and we're going to make Brussels sprouts in the oven. And I got my friend Tammy here, and we're going to learn to cook. So the first thing that you do when you're making a meal is you think about what's going to take the longest. So generally, thing you do is turn on the oven. So we need to turn on the oven, and for this recipe, I usually bake it at about 400 degrees. I'm going to turn my oven on to preheat, so it'll be hot and ready to go when we get started. When we're ready to put the Brussels sprouts in. So the next thing we're going to do, the next longest thing is going to be your grain. And so we're going to take our saucepan and get a put the water in and the grain and get that started cooking.
How much grain?
It's usually 3/4 of a cup and 1 cup of water. What kind of grain do you have? What did you get?
Texamati, white, brown, wild, and red.
Okay, so rice. Okay, yeah, 3/4 a cup of that, and then a cup and a half of water. We usually do it.
Okay, what did you say as far as how much rice?
3/4 cup.
Okay.
And 1.5 cups of water. That'll give you probably 3 servings, maybe 4. So that'll probably be about right. Okay, put my water on the stove. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt in there, which will give the rice a little extra flavor and help the water to boil a little quicker. Put the lid on it because that will keep the heat in and help it boil quicker. Okay, and now that that's turned on, then we're going to start preparing our Brussels sprouts. And I hope you don't get.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
Oh, okay.
I'm still going.
Okay.
Do we need to wash do we just rinse the Brussels sprouts out?
Yes, just rinse the Brussels sprouts. I already did mine. You can see them in the sink. And then I'm going to get my pan.
Okay, you have the stove with your rice on low.
Well, I put the water on high to boil it a little faster, and then when I put the rice in, I'll turn it down.
Oh. I already put the rice in.
It's fine. It's fine. Put it on like medium. It'll be fine. When it's whole rice, sometimes that actually works better. It cooks a little better. I have a kind of rice that I had to soak for a while, so the water needs to be boiling before I put it in. They make special, I guess historically rice was grown in South Carolina, and before the Civil War, and that there were a lot of rice plantations down here, and so it was called Carolina Gold rice. So people have started growing that rice again, and so I got some to try for tonight just to see what it's like. So anyway, so what I'm doing with the Brussels sprouts is I am cutting the stem off and cutting them in quarters, and then I'm just throwing them in my pan. It's going to go in the oven. And you can as many of the vegetables as you want. This was a kind of a small bag, which will be perfect for just the two, just my husband and I tonight.
Okay, I definitely need to sharpen my knives.
It sneaks up on you, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh.
The fun thing about this meal is that it looks fancy and it's not hard and doesn't take that long. I feel like you've gotten a special meal in the middle of the week. I also serve it to guests a lot and they're really impressed. Well, sounds like my water's boiling over there. Not quite. Okay. Well, nah, it's not boiling yet. Give it a couple more minutes. And then I'll put the rice in. And farro is what's on the recipe that was sent out with this class, and you cook it exactly the same way. And almost every grain is the same. Quinoa, bulgur, anything like that. I even have I've tried some of the newly available African grains, ancient grains, cook them all the same. All right, so I've got my Brussels sprouts all cut up into quarters. I'm gonna take it back over to my workspace. My pan is telling me my water is boiling. So I'm gonna dump my rice in. Had that measured out ahead of time. I cheated. Then I'm going to leave it on medium-high heat, let it get to boiling and then I'll turn the heat down to low. And in the meantime, we're going to fix up these Brussels sprouts. I'm going to put a little bit of salt on them. Careful with that shaker, it comes out really fast. And pepper. And then balsamic vinegar, which you need more than that, but that's all that was in this bottle. So guess that's all I get tonight. A little bit of olive oil. And then you use this highly developed mixing tool. Kind of lay it out in a single layer. How you coming, Tammy? You got them all chopped up?
Well, I had to open a new bottle of balsamic vinaigrette. It's more of a challenge trying to get the bottle open.
I know, with all the safety plastic and stuff that they do these days. I agree.
Okay, so just kind of cover it in the balsamic.
Just a little bit. Just enough to give it a little flavor. You don't want to soak it because then it'll get soggy. Just kind of drizzle it over.
Okay.
And then the salt and pepper and a little bit of olive oil, just so that it doesn't stick and it'll crisp, and then stick it in the oven. And this is a great recipe for the air fryer too, if you have one of those. And that'll take about 20 minutes probably. In the meantime, my rice is starting to boil again. So I'm going to put the lid on it and turn the heat down to kind of medium low, something like that. And we'll work on our salmon. And you can do this with any kind of fish. I also do it with chicken. Big deal. I put a little bit of oil in the pan so that it doesn't stick. Then I take my fish, kind of dip it in the oil, and then turn it over. This has the skin on it, so you want to bake it skin side down.
Okay, I'm sorry, you put oil in your pan?
Yes.
Just olive oil?
Yeah, just a little bit. You can use any kind of oil, but
okay,
I like the flavor of the olive oil. And then I dip the top of the fish in oil just so it has a little bit of a coating, and then I put the skin side down on this piece has the skin.
Do you rinse off your fish before you do anything with it?
Sometimes. This time I didn't. That's probably a good idea. I'm gonna wash my hand off because I got fish and oil all over it. I'm gonna put just a little bit of salt. And some pepper. And then I'm going to open up the pepper jelly. If I can, it's this jar I used before, and it's kind of stuck. To run some hot water on a second. Handy dandy jar opener. Okay, so I've got the jelly, and it had a little separated a little bit. So I'm gonna just plop some on the top of each one of these pieces of fish. And I like to use pepper jelly because it gives it a little bit of the pepper zing plus the sweet glaze. I've done this. You could just use dry spices, some of those mixes that spice mixes you can buy, and put plain gel like apple jelly, something with just a little bit of sweet. You could put just brown sugar with your spices. Anything give you the same effect. So this fish is ready to go in the oven. But
okay, did you spread it out on top?
Not really. Can you see? I just kind of globbed it in the middle because as it gets hot, it'll run down.
Okay.
And if you put more, it'll like make a big mess in the pan and make it hard to clean up. Now, sometimes I'll do this with one of those big, huge pieces you can get like at Sam's or Costco.
Yeah.
And I use the whole jar then, just dump the whole
Well, that's
thing.
what I did.
Yeah.
I cut it in half.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do it either way. I just bought two this time. So I want to really wait about probably about 10 minutes to put the fish in because it'll only take about 10 minutes to cook, but the Brussels sprouts will take about 20. But everything's prepped, ready. I just gotta wait for it to finish baking. Any other questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna stop the recording then because I think we've got the basics done. And then I'll post a picture of the finished product because the fish will go in your 400-degree oven when the Brussels sprouts are almost done. And then it'll have dinner ready.